Why do most personal injury lawyers stink? Hey friends, my name is Brandon Osterbind and I'm a personal injury lawyer in Central Virginia, and I help people recover money from insurance companies who don't want to pay. And the question today is, why do most personal injury lawyers stink? And I've got a few reasons that I can share with you. And the first and main reason is most personal injury lawyers stink because they're not actually personal injury lawyers. They're generalists pretending to be personal injury lawyers. This is true in our area specifically. There are a lot of lawyers in big cities who are able to really focus and niche down to certain practice areas, but in our area, there are very few actually who are able to niche down into a certain single field of law. So what a lot of people do is they may advertise that they are in fact personal injury lawyers, but in reality, they're generalists pretending to be personal injury lawyers. They handle wills and trusts and criminal defense and family law, and they're really just generalists who don't do only personal injury cases. And you want someone who only handles personal injury cases. And I'll tell you, the benefit to that is a significant amount of experience. If your only revenue comes from personal injury and disability cases, then you're going to be pretty darn good at those types of cases. But if you are diversified and you have all these different areas of practice, and one day you're doing real estate closings, another day you're in domestic court, and another day you're in criminal court, then your attention is so scattered among so many different things, it's really hard for that lawyer to understand all the sophisticated nuances of Virginia personal injury law. So the first reason that personal injury lawyers stink is that they're really not personal injury lawyers at all. They're generalists pretending to be personal injury lawyers. The second reason is these personal injury lawyers, they don't have good systems. And what do I mean by that? What is a good system? A good system is a process by which each case progresses towards a successful resolution. If you haven't thought about the big picture of what a personal injury case takes, or what it looks like, or how long it should take, how many days should a case be in the discovery phase? How many days should a case be in the pre-litigation phase? How many days should a case be in the prepare for trial phase? All of those things are part of a larger system that helps navigate a personal injury case from the beginning to the resolution, the very end. And if your personal injury lawyer hasn't thought through this to the nth degree, to a significant amount of detail, then they really are going to lack sufficient systems in order to get your case where it needs to be any time that it needs to get there. In other words, these cases are going to drag out forever and a day, and they're not going to get all the right stuff done to move your case forward. So that's number two. Number three is they don't have enough staff. A lot of these problems happen more in rural areas than it does in bigger cities because there's more potential employees to be had in bigger cities. But we see this a lot in the rural areas throughout Central Virginia, where the lawyers just don't have enough staff in order to get all of their work done. So the lawyers are doing paralegal work, the lawyers are doing legal assistant work, and they're not doing the big picture thinking that a lawyer needs to do on your case. Instead, they're doing it all. So they're doing it all, but they're not doing it all really well. So you want to look at law firms as a whole to see, do you have enough staff in order to handle my case effectively, efficiently, and get it done in a timely manner? The fourth reason why personal injury lawyers stink is they don't have enough experience in trial. I'll be the first to admit and to understand that if you're injured in a car accident, the last thing you want to do is go to trial and communicate that to a jury of 7 people. You did not sign up for this. You're not interested in what a jury is going to say in your particular case. On the other hand, I went to law school to try cases. My goal and our goal as a firm is to try more cases, but it's to your benefit just as it is to our benefit as well. Because the lawyer that doesn't have experience trying cases doesn't really understand how to fully communicate your injuries to a jury or to an insurance company. The lawyer who doesn't have trial experience doesn't know what your case is actually worth. In fact, we see this a lot where these personal injury lawyers who don't go to trial, they undersettle cases for less than what the full value is because they're unwilling to go to trial. And the insurance companies know who's willing to go to trial and who's not willing to go to trial. And that is a detriment to your case. When you're talking about settlement value, that number goes down because your lawyer is unwilling to go to trial and the insurance companies know that. On the flip side, if you do go to trial, if you are willing to go to that extra effort to go prove your case in front of a jury of your client's peers, then you're going to understand a whole lot better what the actual value of cases are. So it's to your benefit to have a lawyer who has trial experience and who knows when to tell you that you can get significantly more money if you go to a jury. Now, that lawyer might also have the experience to tell you that you're going to get significantly less money if you go to a jury. Perhaps they're advising you to settle if your case doesn't have the value that you think that it has. But the only way that your lawyer is going to know that is if they have jury trial experience. The fifth reason why personal injury lawyers stink is they have poor communication. And this is really a problem endemic of lawyers as a whole. Lawyers have this mentality that the case belongs to them. And I always tell my clients the very first time I meet with them that this is not my case. This is not her case. This is not his case. I can't decide anything about your case because this is your case. You are the one who is injured. You are the one who has to make the legal decisions. It's my job to help you make good legal decisions. And it's not my case. I am not allowed to hoard all of the information about your case and protect you or keep from you important information that would help you make a good legal decision. So you're looking for a lawyer that can communicate effectively everything that is going on in your case. The ethical standard is every lawyer has this ethical duty to keep his or her client reasonably informed as to the status of your case. And most lawyers fail miserably at this task. In fact, that's the number one complaint that the Virginia State Bar gets about lawyers in Virginia is communication. So, how does your lawyer communicate about the status of your case with you? That's an important question to answer before you hire that lawyer. So, for example, our firm uses a case management system where every document that comes into our office gets shared with you immediately, and every document that goes out of our office gets shared with you immediately so that you can understand and know what is going on in your case. Of course, if you have questions about that document, you can call or you can comment within our case management system and say, I don't understand what this means. Can you explain this to me? And we can type out a response. And if it still doesn't answer your question, we can set up a meeting and help you to fully understand what's happening in your case. But most lawyers don't have those systems set up, those case management systems set up, so they don't do stuff like that. So how are they going to, in lieu of that, how are they going to communicate with you to keep you reasonably informed as to the status of your case? And if they can't do that, or if they don't have an answer for how they're going to do that, then your lawyer is going to stink. The sixth reason why most personal injury lawyers stink is because they're focused on volume and not quality. Part of the lawyer's job in representing you in your personal injury case is to better the quality of your case. So how do you do that? How do you make the settlement value larger? How do you make the jury verdict potential larger? One of the big ways is to be able to fully and fairly communicate all of the nuances of your case to the insurance company. It's also beneficial to make sure that you're fully considering what are the past medical bills and records, what is the extent and duration of your injury, how long is your injury going to last, what future medical expenses do you have. All of those things have to be considered as a whole in order to fully evaluate and put a dollar number on the value of your case. So if your lawyer is not focusing on those qualitative quantitative metrics to increase the value of your case, then they're doing you a disservice. If they're just focused on churning out cases every single month, then they're what we call a settlement mill. They're not doing you any favors. And settlement mills may get you money quick. They may turn recs into checks and they may do it quickly, but they're not actually doing you any favors. Your personal injury lawyer probably stinks. The seventh reason why most personal injury lawyers stink is they completely and utterly lack empathy. Their hearts have been so incredibly hardened by the volume of cases they've seen that they're unable to communicate effectively with you, that they understand what you've gone through. And then if they can't understand what you've gone through, then they can't communicate what you've gone through to the insurance company or to a jury. These cold-hearted personal injury lawyers stink, in my opinion. They're unable to express empathy for you in your situation, your life-changing situation. So some of the things that you probably want to look for, because this trickles down from the top to the bottom, you want to look for when you're first calling around to a law firm, does the staff person that I'm speaking to on the phone, is that person able to communicate empathy? Do they say things like, I'm so sorry this happened to you? Do they say things like, you're in the right place, I know that we can help you? Do they say things that communicate to you that they understand what you're going through is a real and dramatic change in your life? If they do, then you probably want to look further into that law firm. If they don't, you probably want to run far, far away because that lawyer probably stinks. The eighth reason why most personal injury lawyers stink is that they don't invest in the investigation of your case. And that's very important, particularly in Virginia, because in Virginia we have this rule called contributory negligence. And if the plaintiff, the person who is injured in the car accident, is at least 1% at fault, then you can't recover anything for your injuries. And that's a big problem. So the lawyer who's unwilling to invest in your investigation of your case is not going to be willing to prove that you weren't negligent at all. So I'll give you an example. If the defense or the insurance company says that you were speeding at the time of the accident, the lawyer should hire someone to download the EDR data off of your car to determine how fast you were actually going prior to the accident. Or let's say that the defendant says, oh, he or she didn't use a turn signal when I ran into him. Well, we can see that in the EDR data. We can prove that you did in fact use your turn signal. In fact, these are real examples that I've used in real cases to prove that my client was not contributory negligent. So a lot of lawyers just have this aversion to spending money to work up a case. And every case requires a certain amount of effort and investment in order to prove that your case has the value that you believe it has. And the lawyer who's unwilling to spend that money on your behalf is unwilling to do a good job, and probably means that that lawyer stinks. And the last and final reason why most personal injury lawyers stink is they just don't keep up to date with the law. I cannot tell you how many times people have come to me and asked questions. I have other people who claim that they're personal injury lawyers in our area who call me and say, I don't understand this or I don't understand that. And this is simple insurance law in Virginia. Over the last handful of years, the insurance landscape for personal injury cases has changed dramatically. In Virginia, all of our new laws go into effect, generally speaking, on July 1st of that year. So the General Assembly meets January, February, March of every year, and every July 1st, these new laws go into effect. And the significant changes have really added value to what personal injury victims can get in personal injury cases. And it's important for personal injury lawyers to stay up to date on the law. Just because someone is a lawyer doesn't mean that they actively stay up to date on the law and what the law says and how the law affects what you can get in your case. I'll give you an example. There's a new law that says you can settle with the liability insurance carrier and you can still pursue a claim for underinsured motorist claims. But the statute is very, very, very clear on how you are supposed to do that. And if you don't follow the statute to a T, then you are going to risk losing out on all of that underinsured motorist coverage money that's still out there available available to you, but because you've done the wrong thing, you've put the wrong words in the release, all of a sudden you're not entitled to any of it. So if you mess this up, it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And believe it or not, I've seen it where a lawyer has completely messed this up. They thought that they can do this and they were completely and utterly wrong. And then at that point, I can't do anything to salvage that claim. All I can do is tell you, well, you probably have a legal malpractice claim and we don't handle those here. So no one wants a legal malpractice claim. That means you have to prove both cases at the same time, and it's going to take probably twice as long, and no one comes out on top because of that. So make sure before you hire your lawyer that he or she is keeping up to date on the new laws in Virginia. And Google is so powerful these days, you can see what some of the new laws are, and you can ask questions of that lawyer about these new laws and see if they can have an intelligent conversation with you about that. So these are 9 reasons why most personal injury lawyers stink. And I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you've learned something about what you should be looking for in a personal injury lawyer. I hope that I have educated you just a little bit. And I hope that you use this information to make good decisions throughout the course of your case. If you have questions about your personal injury case, my name is Brandon Osterbind. I'm a personal injury attorney here in Central Virginia. And we help people all the time who have questions about their personal injury case and what their values are and what they should do. You can reach out to us. You can contact us through our website. There's a chat feature on our website. You can chat with us there. You can submit an intake form through our Contact Us page, or you can send us an email, or you could call us, or you can comment on this video right here. If you want to, we can have a conversation right there. So I look forward to talking with you. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach us.